our login page is pretty much what you would expect. You'll note that up top we have a logo, which obviously would be customized. Also, up here, where it says the name of the page, that also can be customized. Now, on the right-hand side, this is a construct that's pretty much consistent throughout the site. We want to make sure that we tell the viewer exactly what's going on. When the student goes to log in, we of course ask for the username and password. By default, we use an email address. Now, if the school has a single sign-on policy, EduMe stands ready to integrate into that policy, causing a unified look. Once the student is logged in, they're presented again with a clean and uncluttered page. We have clearly defined alternatives specific to each user's role. On this page we have Work on My Plan, Profile and Preferences, Updated Grades and Check GPA, Send Feedback and Report a Problem. We have a Message Center. Here we show messages between the student and an advisor. And we have an activity log, which may become particularly useful for a student to see that an advisor has been doing activity within their account. The first thing that we're going to take a look at will be the student profile. On this page, we'll collect basic student identifying information. The next page we're particularly proud of. It's a concept called venues. Here, we ask the student when they want to take courses and where they want to take courses, so they can mark down, and later on we'll be able to match those preferences with when and where courses are actually being offered. Next, we're going to ask students to explore different majors. In this case, the student has picked Business Administration Department. You'll notice that we have 3 programs, and these blue icons, if I click on one of them, gives me the program description. Now this is HTML, so we can put things like video in here. We'll say that this particular student chooses the Associate of Arts program. On this next screen, we show grades for a student. Not only grades, but items that have been scheduled to be taken and don't have a grade yet. We'll also show things like GPA. And we even show an explanation that can be put together exactly as the school wants to. Note that these screens can be dragged around also. A nice touch. On the page we're showing you, these grades can be edited. That would be for a prospective student. Obviously a matriculating student couldn't be able to change their grade. Here, back on the menus page, let's now select Go to My Plan. As this plan page loads, you'll note that we're met with a greeting that can be anything that the school wants. The student can click, I've got it. They can click, alright, don't show it to me again. So for now we're just going to say, I've got it. Note that this student already has planned 2 courses for the spring of 2014. Those appear on the left-hand side on his plan, and then over here on the right-hand side, which we call the semester view. Notice that I can expand and contract this. If I click on a course, I'll go and search for available sections. I can choose to evaluate a particular section, or I can take it off of my schedule. On the right-hand side, it looks very much like a Google Calendar, something that the student is familiar with. On the left-hand side, we list out all of the program requirements, including, in this case, a course that the student has that, well, quite honestly doesn't fit into the program. If the student clicks on one of these red prerequisites not met, they get a message box that goes and finds which prerequisites are not met for this particular course. Let's close this out, go back up to that course that is a prerequisite, and we'll put that on our plan. In this case, we open up. At the top, we see the student's preferences. In the middle, we see when the course is actually offered, and down below we have a dialog box where the student can select which semester they'd like to take it. We're going to say Summer 1. Click on that, and it puts it on his plan. Let's close that out. Now, let's go back down. Take a look at that Business 101 course that previously had the prerequisite. Note that the prerequisite message is no longer there. We can click on it. We can see our preferences again. We can see when this particular course is offered. And we can see when those preferences and offerings do and do not match. In the dark gray, we can't schedule a course because there's no match. In the light gray, we can't schedule the course yet because the prerequisite hasn't been or will not have actually been met by then. Scrolling down on our plan, we can see that we have a selection here. The selection's between two particular classes. Our system allows the school to make whichever drop-down selections they'd like. Also, a little bit further down, we have what would normally be called general education or liberal arts courses. Here's a literature drop-down. We can select whatever we like, and now that particular line is specific to that course. Let's say that a student changes their mind and doesn't want to have a particular course. So let's click on that, and the student here can say, remove this from my plan. It removes it from the plan, and if this is a prerequisite for any other courses, it'll go ahead and put that prerequisite mask back on. Something else that you may have noticed is this grades column. We have selects. Now, this is really for the student who is a prospective student to the school. They could select a grade and say, yeah, I think I have that, and I got an A in that course. Let me see on this next one. What are we going to give ourselves? Well, okay, we've put the grade in there. This third course, all right, we have these grades. This is a great planning tool. Now, it doesn't say that they're going to matriculate with this. Oh, here we've put in a grade, it's a D, and quite honestly, that's not an acceptable grade. So we give the student the message, and so that they can plan accordingly. In the upper right-hand corner, I can check off that I don't want to see the successful grades. No need to have that clutter up my view. Or I can check it back, boom, they reappear. This is a good tool, allowing the student to focus on exactly what they need to focus on.